Carolyn.
Joyce.
Carolyn Laufenberger was always a stickler for details when it came to music. At the age of 15, she wrote Russian composer Dmitri Kabalevsky, questioning the exact desired tempo for one of his sonatinas. He responded personally with full handwritten detail, agreeing with her interpretation and wishing her well with her studies. Did I mention that this was during the Cold War? It was such an unusual circumstance that it was written about in the New York Times and the Star Tribune. Carolyn Simedet Laufenberger was born in North Redwood to a family of musicians and teachers. She took 13 years of piano, 7 years of vocal lessons, and 5 years of organ lessons. She began accompanying choirs as a 5th grader at the North Redwood School. She continued to accompany the choir all through high school while also sharing her amazing vocal talents. She continued her education at the MacPhail School of Music, the University of Minnesota, and Southwest Minnesota State University. Carolyn estimates that she has played or sung for over 5,000 funerals, 250 weddings, and over 3,000 church services in nearly every church in the area. Carolyn is an adjudicator and a clinician throughout Minnesota for piano contests, exams, and the National Federation of Music Clubs Festival. The Minnesota Music Teachers Association honored her with a bachelor's degree in piano performance in 1970. In 2012, she was honored at the National Music Teachers Convention in New York City with a Lifetime Achievement Award for 50 years of teaching. It is teaching where Carolyn has left her most indelible mark on this community. She has taught voice and piano lessons for years, turning out numerous talented and accomplished musicians. For the past 15 years, she has been the accompanist for the Redwood Valley High School choirs, helping with rehearsals, concerts, choral contests, and solo and ensemble contests. She takes a frank, honest approach in working with students who listen closely to what she has to say. In an era where blue ribbons and recognition abound, a compliment from Carolyn truly has meaning and inspires confidence in her students. Carolyn and her late husband, Bob, have 4 children, Tammy, Kirsten, Ryan, and Rhett. They are all graduates of Redwood area schools. It is my honor to induct Carolyn Laufenberger into the Redwood Area Schools Hall of Fame.
I'm a little dizzy and can you hear me? This is weird. I've had some issues, so if I just sort of start leaning, somebody grab me. Okay? Look at these guys, they got their hands ready. I need to begin by thanking those who are responsible for my being here tonight. That would be Dr. Alexander, Dr. Litz, Dr. Nickelbine, Dr. Rice, Dr. Boer, Dr. Adler, assorted nurses, specialists, ambulance drivers, all of whom helped save my life January 7th when I had a massive heart attack. You might say this has been the winter of my discontent. Well, thank you, Jim. My daughters were delighted and immediately said, "Party!" Finally, something to celebrate. Seriously, I do want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee of the Redwood Area Education Foundation for this recognition and congratulate all the other inductees. And to Tammy Riley, hats off to a grand event. I am truly honored. I also need to thank my dear lifelong friend and classmate, Joanne Hopkins, for submitting my nomination. Talk about a devoted friend. Along with Donna Lee, Josephson, and Lynette Clark endorsements. Thank you for your confidence in me. Quickly, I would like to introduce my family that is here tonight. Just raise your hand. My daughter Tammy, husband Mark, grandkids Zach and Claire from Buffalo Lake, daughter Kirsten in Grove Heights, brother Norman and wife Jenny from Mound, brother-in-law Danny and wife Ruth Wolfenberger. If you get a good look at him, it's not Bob, it's his brother. Sister-in-law Leanne and husband Gary Burrow, mayor. Niece Laurel and Simonet from Milford, Iowa. Great niece Lori Fassler, Iowa, Sioux Rapids. Nephew Gary and wife Jan Simonet, Beaver Falls, Minnesota, of course. And many other friends from the area, known probably to most of you, so just thank you all for your support and presence here tonight. I'm not done yet. Regarding my much agonizing thoughts about this speech, I've known this for 2 months, so it's 2 months of agony. I was reminded of my music teacher, Avis Marsh, and her story of a very nervous student. In a much rehearsed manner, Johnny practiced. The pieces I will play are, da-da-da-da-da. The time came for his introduction, and he very confidently strode up to the microphone and said, "The places I will pee are." And he sat down, played without missing a beat. Nor did he ever know what he said. Since my time up here is brief, they talked about a hook or something. So I think I can capture a glimpse of my life right here in this room, the Reader's Digest version. Looking around, Paul Pryor and I, longtime friends, also served on the hospital commission together for several years. Mary Liebel and I have worked together as election judges. She always knows what she's doing, on the other hand. John Tiffany and I go back years when he and his brother Bill sang for so many funerals that I played for. And I also need to suck up to him because he has a big asparagus patch. Bernita and Keith Houghton, Keith's classmate of mine. I now teach their grandchildren piano. Gloria Sletton in her 90th decade, who has mentored me throughout my 20 years as cemetery secretary with her years of experience on that board. Bill Krinke, Bellevue grad I've known since high school. His daughter Jennifer, a 13-year student of mine, is now a much respected and loved choir director and piano teacher in Pine City. And of course, Bill and I worked together here various times and connected again when I started the accompanist position at school 15 years ago, which he kept going in part, was kept going in part to his nudging and to Mr. Ellingworth's dedication to the importance of this program. Did I say that right, Mr. Ellingworth? The thrill of a lifetime for me was to go to Europe in 2004 to hear Christopher Hopkins singing in his European debut with the Hanover Philharmonic National Radio Orchestra. A former student and friend, Christopher and I have had many interesting gigs together. And looking around some more, I see my students, vocalist Derek Bebo, senior, who just received some very nice scholarships. He's my vocal student. And you heard my piano students, Carter Gilk, Allison Curry, and Spencer Quast, who played theater music for you. I've had the cream of the crop in working with students for 50 years, and am so lucky to have had a little slice of their lives. I would say that all of them have gone on to successful lives, as doctors, lawyers, teachers, performers, piano tuners, a nun who prays for me regularly, and a myriad of other professions. To see their accomplishments satisfies for me the impact that their discipline and diligence in music paid off for them in their lives. For you students in the room, let me share with you my motto in life as expressed by my piano organ and voice teacher and friend. Reflecting on mediocrity, perhaps, she said once to me, "I always play for that one person in the audience who might know better." To this day, I think of that every time I play or perform for anything, wondering who might be in the audience today that knows I missed that B flat. In other words, don't settle for just getting by, but always strive to do your very best. Fortunately, my husband was of the very same nature and conviction, so I'd like to share this honor today with him and with my daughters, Tammy and Kirsten, who have been my biggest fans. My life has been about promoting music at every opportunity, serving the community and churches in whatever capacity I was able, and I could not have done any of it without my family beside me. Their love and support has made whatever contributions I've made on this earth worthwhile. I've been blessed with family, friends, and a community willing to accept whatever I had to offer. In closing, one of the perks of my business is that I get to call in favors and get the best there is. So you are now will be enchanted by two former Hall of Fame inductees, Christopher Hopkins and Bill Krinke, singing the Irish Blessing, a blessing I wish for all of you here tonight. And I will do what I do best,